And the second negative. So right now, what the affirmative is saying that we have there's an impetus to get involved in this conflict because of what's going on, what the possibilities the Russians can do beyond Ukraine. But one of the things we have to remember is that the Americans do not want to get involved. CNN and the CNN article called "Americans Want to Steer Clear of Ukraine Crisis" noted that in late March, the Pew Research study noted that 52% of Americans do not want to get too involved in the looming confrontation between Russia and Ukraine. They also know that those Americans 58 years of age or more are twice as likely to consider Ukraine as a strong strategic importance than Americans 18 to 29. But even then, that group of Americans are still a minority in their age group. We also have to, the first negative constructive said, Ukraine is not nearly enough of strategic importance to really warrant escalation. One of the things that we also have to consider is that violence may not be necessary, violence by the Ukrainians may not be necessary to actually defeat the situation. Andrew Setterford, in his Eastern Ukraine, What Do the Locals Want, stated that the Kiev International Institute of Sociology made a survey that and it was clear that in clear majorities in Ukraine, 68%, and Russia, 59%, favor open borders between the countries. These studies were fielded by sociology. The positive views of the citizens of both countries is a cause to think that the situation in Ukraine will not have to be devolved into a conflict if the West and the two countries relied entirely on diplomatic methods, so not relying on any use of any military support. The opposition is made up of individuals that the U.S. and West would probably not want to support, because part of the problem is that, or part of the reason this crisis is occurring is because the Ukrainian government has made some decisions that would allow annexation of the country by the Russians, but there's a opposition that's violently opposing them. But the thing is, and Tom Kush in his Ukraine's opposition, different roles and different goals, noted that while the Svoboda Party, which is one of the majority in the Ukraine, has long relied on support from right-wing Ukrainian nationalists and envisions a country with less fealty to prevailing Western European democratic standards than Klitschko and the Yitzhak Yuk advocate. Even more extreme groups like Sektor have loudly clamored for their own stridently rightist views and made. So there's a possibility that while the opposition may be very loud, it could possibly be that these people are a group of people we don't want to support. And the previous negative constructive said, opposition may not be in the majority, so there's a possibility that if we get involved on the wrong side.